Ever thought you were a camping pro only to be humbled by a tent? That was me, Megu, on my epic solo adventure. You won't believe the hilarious chaos that ensued, and how my perfect setup turned into a battleground until Megu, the queen of outdoor hacks, arrived to save the day in the most unexpected ways. All right, picture this. Me, Megu, standing in my garage, surrounded by the most impressive array of camping gear you've ever seen. We're talking top-of-the-line tent, with color-coded poles no less, state-of-the-art sleeping bag rated for temperatures I'll never experience, a portable camping stove that probably has more features than my actual kitchen. I'm checking items off my meticulously crafted list, feeling like a true outdoor professional. 20 years of camping experience, I tell my camera with absolute confidence. By 20 years, I mean I went camping twice as a kid, but who's counting? Fast forward to the campsite, it's perfect, absolutely pristine. Trees providing just the right amount of shade, a gentle stream babbling nearby, birds singing their approval of my excellent campsite selection. I can already picture it. Tent up in 10 minutes, campfire crackling, me relaxing in a camping chair with a satisfied smile. I pull out the tent bag, and there's this tiny moment, just a flash, where one of the poles doesn't quite slide out smoothly. Do I take this as a warning sign? Of course not. I laugh it off. Just needs to warm up, I say to no one in particular, because apparently I think tent poles need a warm-up period. Foreshadowing? Never heard of it. The instruction manual is in my hands. It's got diagrams, step-by-step instructions. It even has helpful little cartoon drawings of happy campers successfully assembling their tent. So why am I currently tangled in what appears to be a fabric octopus? Pole A is supposed to go into slot B, but slot B doesn't seem to exist in my reality. The tent stakes won't go into the ground. Seriously, is this ground made of concrete? The fabric keeps collapsing every time I think I've made progress. I'm wrestling with tent poles like they're serpents. One springs loose and nearly takes out my eye. Another bends at an angle that definitely wasn't in the design specifications. The rainfly? Don't even get me started on the rainfly. Seems to be actively mocking me. Just stay put. I'm now arguing with inanimate camping equipment, which is always a sign things are going well. I stand back, hands on hips, surveying what can only be described as a tent-based crime scene. The thing looks less like shelter and more like abstract art titled Man's Hubris. My phone is in my hand. I'm staring at it. Do I call for help? Do I admit defeat? Me, the self-proclaimed camping expert? I'm seriously considering it when I hear footsteps. Enter Megu, the other Megu, my partner in crime, and apparently my outdoor survival specialist. She takes one look at the disaster zone, and I swear I see the corners of her mouth twitch into the most amused smile. She doesn't say anything. She doesn't have to. Her expression says it all. Really? You've been here for 2 hours and this is what you've accomplished? I was just about to fix it, I muttered defensively. Uh-huh, she says, which is Megu speak for sure you were. But then she gets to work, and I'm witnessing a masterclass in outdoor problem solving. She grabs a fallen branch, just a random stick, and uses it to prop up the section I've been struggling with for 40 minutes. She fashions a makeshift stake anchor using rocks and twine from her pocket. Who carries twine in their pocket? Apparently prepared people do. The tent poles I've been treating like mortal enemies, she has them assembled and threaded through the sleeves in what feels like 30 seconds. She's using her water bottle as a mallet for the stakes. She's turned her bandana into a support strap. Everything around her becomes a tool. I'm standing there, mouth slightly open, watching her MacGyver my entire camping setup into existence with nothing but resourcefulness and what I can only assume is some kind of outdoor magic. Where did you learn to do that? I asked, genuinely in awe. She shrugs. I read the manual. The shade, the absolute shade. 20 minutes later, the transformation is complete. The tent stands proud and sturdy, exactly like it looked in the promotional photos I'd been showing everyone before the trip. The guidelines are properly tensioned, the rainfly is secured, there's even a small vestibule area I didn't know the tent had. Around the tent, Megu has created this perfectly cozy camping setup. The camp chairs are positioned at the ideal angle, the campfire is properly constructed with a rock ring, my expensive camping stove is set up, though I notice she's also built a backup cooking area using rocks, because of course she has. We stand there together, admiring the work, well, admiring her work. You know, I say, trying to salvage some dignity, I loosened it all up for you. She pats my shoulder with the energy of someone humoring a child. Sure you did, Megu. Great teamwork. It's condescending and supportive at the same time, which is very on brand for our dynamic. As the sun sets and we're finally sitting by the fire, I have to admit something I don't admit often. I was completely, utterly, spectacularly wrong about my outdoor expertise. So, Megu says, toasting a marshmallow with perfect technique, what's your next ambitious solo project? I thought about lying. I consider it. But then I look at the tent that I definitely could not have assembled alone and decide honesty is the best policy. I was thinking about building a canoe. The marshmallow falls directly into the fire. Here's what I learned on this camping trip. Being prepared doesn't just mean having the right gear. It means knowing when to ask for help, or in my case, knowing when help will inevitably arrive because your partner knows you well enough to predict your disasters. The truth is, Megu and I make a great team precisely because we're different. I bring the enthusiasm, the ambition, the willingness to try things that are probably beyond my skill level. She brings the actual skills, the problem-solving abilities, and the patience to bail me out when my enthusiasm outpaces my competence. Would I have eventually gotten that tent up on my own? Maybe, probably, possibly by next spring. Did having Megu there make everything infinitely easier and more enjoyable? Absolutely. As we pack up camp the next morning, and by we, I mean Megu efficiently organizes everything, while I try to help without breaking anything, I'm already planning our next outdoor adventure. Next time, I announce confidently, I'm going to nail it. No help needed. Megu just smiles and pats the survival kit I didn't know she'd packed. Whatever you say, Megu. Whatever you say. So remember, folks, confidence is great, but having a friend who actually knows what they're doing, that's priceless. Stay tuned for my next adventure. Megu builds a canoe and probably calls Megu for help by hour 2. It's going to be exactly as chaotic as you're imagining. And hey, share your camping disasters in the comments. Let's create a support group for people who thought they were outdoorsy and learned otherwise. Megu and I will be the founding members. Until next time, happy camping, and maybe read the manual.